Always be stronger than your excuses. Take a deep breath and let's start today's session. And I want to tell you something. If you are trying to pick informations from here and there, it demands more effort to recall it. But if you could connect all the points in a logical way, it will make your learning more interesting. So always try to connect whatever you study in a logical way. Welcome back to my channel, The Net Effect. We already learned about modernization theory, dependency theory, and alternative theory. So I thought I should share some more about the supporters of modernization theory. The modernization theory supported the interests and agenda of developed nations, especially the Western nations. Actually, modernization is the description and explanation of the process of transformation from traditional or underdeveloped society to modern and developed. During that period of modernization, development was determined primarily in terms of economic growth. If you want to know more about modernization, watch my video titled Dominant Paradigm. Okay, it showed that there must be conflicts in the thoughts of the development communication scholars of that time. For several scholars, high-level authoritative policies proposed by Daniel Lerner was acceptable. We already discussed about Daniel Lerner, so you can watch the video to get more details about him. I will give the video links in the description below. At the same time, for researchers like Everett Roger and sociologists like Wilbur Schramm, the executability of the communication theories was the major concern. So let's see the major proponents of the modernization theory here. Are you a person who loves to try new things? What about your friends? When it comes to your relatives, their approach to new ideas will be entirely different, right? Let's see why different people adopt innovations in a different way. To explain this phenomenon, in 1962, American communication theorist and sociologist Everett Roger developed a theory called diffusion of innovation. And interestingly, the theory is still relevant. The theory explains how over time an idea or product gains momentum and diffuses or spreads through a specific population or social system. Diffusion is the process by which an information is communicated among the people. This theory is also known as change theory since it analyzes why some people are more willing to accept change than others. It's a multi-step flow theory. The study was conducted initially in the agriculture sector to examine how independent farmers were adopting hybrid seeds, equipment, and techniques. Then it was used in other sectors too. The final result of diffusion is that people will adopt a new idea, behavior, or a product. It's not at all an easy process. Some people are quicker to adopt innovations than others. The diffusion is possible only when people perceive the idea as innovative. He represented his idea through a bell curve. For the study, he used meta-analysis method. There are 5 adopter categories: innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. Let's look at each group to find out more about them. The first group is called innovators. They are a small forward thinking group. They are risk taking people who are ready to try new ideas and products. They are adventurous and are responsible for introducing innovations in a society. Second group is called early adopters. They take up the role of opinion leaders. They are already aware of the need to change and so are extremely comfortable adopting new ideas. They bridge the gap between the innovators and the majority of people in a society. In the third group comes early majority. They are the group of people who need to see evidence that the innovation works before they are willing to adopt it. Strategies to appeal to this population include success stories and evidence of the innovation's effectiveness. People in the group called late majority will be willing to try a novel idea only after it has been tried out by majority. They are skeptical and resistant about changes. Laggards are the group of people who are conservative and highly resistant to change. They also have little exposure to media. Roger proposes that four main elements influence the spread of a new idea or an innovation. The first one is the innovation itself and communication channels, time, and social system. He focused on interpersonal network. He stressed on the capability of media messages to create knowledge about new practices and ideas. Modernization could only occur when there is a persuasion attempt for change in the traditional way of life of the laborers. He believed in changing the social structure for development. Wilbur Schramm is considered as the founder of the field of communication studies. He introduced the aspect of media as a magic multiplier of information into the modernization paradigm. He believed that mass media could better the lives of people by supplementing the information resources and exposing people for learning opportunities. He once said, "In the third world, villages are drowsing in their traditional patterns of life. The urge to develop economically usually comes from seeing how the well developed countries or the more fortunate people live. A nation that seeks development must accelerate the growth of media as it is the only instrument through which the people can be made aware of their needs." For him, mass media were the agents of social change. He conceptualized a relationship between development communication and economic growth, which has been the main guiding paradigm for development programs. He suggested that as economic activity spreads, knowledge must be gathered more broadly, information shared widely, and transferred swiftly. For this, the developing nations must be prepared to support enormous increase in the day-to-day communication within the system. Later, it was realized that the original formula of information, education, and communication for development programs was itself insufficient to achieve the desired results. In addition, people need motivation to accept development. Here we have one of the most influential communication models of that time, which explains the magic bullet effect of the media, the famous Shannon and Weaver model. In 1948, American mathematician and electronic engineer Claude Shannon and American scientist Warren Weaver joined together to write an article in Bell System Technical Journal. It is called a mathematical theory of communication, and later it was called as Shannon and Weaver model of communication. This model is specially designed to develop the effective communication between sender and receiver, and it was mainly used in technical communication. Also, they found factors which affecting the communication process called noise. Rostow is an American economist who played a key role in the development communication studies. Rostow wrote his classic Stages of Economic Growth in 1960, which presented five steps through which all countries must pass to become developed. First one is traditional society. This is an agricultural based economy. Second stage is preconditions to take off. In this stage, society begins to develop their own manufacturing. Agriculture becomes more mechanized. Third stage is takeoff. It's a short period of intensive growth. It can be called a period of the beginning of industrialization in a society. The fourth stage is the drive to maturity. More economic growth and investment in education, media, and there is birth control. The population start to realize new opportunities opening up and strive to make the most of their lives. The last stage is the age of high mass consumption. This is where economic growth and production are at Western levels. This is all about the five stages of economic growth. And actually, the modernization theory is an old theory which was not completely followed by any other countries. The dependency theorists argue that development is not really about helping the developing world at all. It is really about changing societies just enough so they are easier to exploit. With these points, let's wind up our sessions on modernization. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video tutorials, make sure you subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Don't forget to like, share and comment. See you soon with another video. Have a great learning time. Bye bye.